God put us in a certain place to overcome our challenges. And maybe those external challenges that we see, that we face in society, is actually a mirror of some internal challenge within ourselves. I've been watching some of these conservative liberal debates over the last couple of weeks, and honestly, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm not so politically minded, and it totally keeps me off track in my life, but it is kind of interesting, and I'm learning a lot of things. So one thing I was thinking about is how, how there's people on the left mostly say that there is systematic racism, it's built into the system, there's oppression affecting marginalized people. Okay, so whether you believe that or not, my point and the thing that I want to argue is that what is wrong with having the odds stacked against you? The odds stacked against someone. What's wrong with having obstacles? Even if the percentage of a certain race, certain gender don't go on to all become CEOs. It doesn't mean that it doesn't happen, but it's harder. The odds are stacked against you. So I would say in life, with everything, there's situations where the odds are stacked against us, and despite that we succeed. And is that not what God wants? So my thing is with interpersonal relationships, that's where I really thrive and where I notice a lot of things. So I'm going to take an example from that. If somebody grew up in a home where they didn't see their parents having a good relationship, or they grew up in a divorced home and they never saw anyone in their circle communicating in a healthy way and showing love and affection. And so the odds are stacked against them that they're going to grow up and be able to have a healthy family, right? The odds are more in the favor that they're going to just replicate the same habits, right? But why do people come out of that and they actually learn the skills and the tools that they didn't receive? And yes, it is harder for them, undoubtedly, but they learn it, and it's so much more rewarding when they're able to have the life and the family that they didn't have. They left a certain ideology and habits and programming that they had when they grew up, and then they took on a new set of beliefs and values. And is that not the path forward for every individual? I mean, it's in our Torah, it's in our Bible. We have our free will. And yes, it is difficult. It's difficult for everyone. Abraham also, he grew up in a whole society that didn't believe in God. I mean, the odds were totally stacked against him. You could say there was systematic societal kind of oppression of his idea of monotheism, but he didn't give up. And that's the idea, is knowing that God put us in a certain place to overcome our challenges. And maybe those external challenges that we see, that we face in society, is actually a mirror of some internal challenge within ourselves. And once we actually address and confront that obstacle within ourselves, whether it's our own fear, our own lack of self-belief or confidence, when we actually look at it and go boo, it's not real. It's just an imagined fear. And it's obviously, it can run your life, but it's something that we have to walk away from and choose a different path. And then the external reality becomes totally different. Nothing wrong with things being in our way and obstacles and things being stacked against us. What do you think?